US military launched airstrikes in Iraq and Syria yesterday, targeting more than 85 Iranian targets.
And that's as President Joe Biden claims that these strikes are just the beginning as he faces what is considered to be the most dangerous days of his presidency.
And it all comes after a deadly drone attack in Jordan that killed 3 US troops and injured 40 others.
Well, let's talk now to a former head of counterterrorism at the MOD, Major General Chip Chapman. A very good morning to you. What are your thoughts on what's happened overnight? I mean, there are some headlines and some columnists writing this is one step nearer World War III.
I don't think it's one step nearer World War III, and you need to look at the signalling on both sides for that in the last 5 days. So the first one is from the Iranian perspective. They've said that at the moment they're going to stand down Kataib Hezbollah in Iraq, and that they're removing IRGC personnel from Damascus. So that's really signalling that they're not interested in a war. Secondly, from the American perspective, they've already signaled themselves that there will be a tiered approach, and in Persian cultural norms, commensurate and proportionate retaliation will be expected and considered fair. So that will limit it both geographically and for the future in terms of what the Americans are really doing is what we call shock and withhold. So they've got a target set in both Iraq and Syria at the moment. The withhold bit is that if they wanted to, they could go and do serious damage in Iran, but they're signaling to Iran that they don't want to do that at the moment, so that Iran should desist. That doesn't mean that the Middle East isn't incredibly volatile at the moment. Indeed, Antony Blinken, the Secretary of State, has said that it's as dangerous as it's been since at least 1973 in the Middle East. So I don't think we're at a total war. We're at a very limited war at the moment, where both the aims, commitment, intensity, duration and resource is limited. Things can run out of kilter, but I don't think it's going to be anything like World War III. There will be re-attacks by the Americans, and they will be doing battle damage assessment as we speak to look at the target sets that they went after last night to see if they should be re-attacked again if people didn't get taken out.
I mean, Chip, forgive me, but the way you describe it almost sounds like I don't know if there is such a thing, a sort of military diplomacy.
Yeah, I think if you take from Sunday to Friday, i.e. the 5 days that before they struck, Americans are really trying to do 3 things in that. The first one is they've got to set the diplomatic theatre. That is, they'll be liaising with allies and actually messaging Iran, because you need access basing and overflight. That's complicated to get your stream in. Because the second thing, to set the theatre in military terms, they needed to use, for example, significant tanker assets from continental USA. And we now know that B-1 bombers were used, for example. And the third thing they need to do is set the target set. That is, they need to do the target development on those things they hit. That gives you your 5 days between Sunday and the attack, which happened at around 2100 GMT last night.
OK, Chip, we've got to leave it there, but good to see you this morning.